again, everyone. I am here today with a Penlux fountain pen unboxing. I know I've been doing a lot of fountain pens lately, and this really isn't becoming a fountain pen only channel, but this is a pen that I purchased from Atlas Stationers during their, I guess, year-end, year beginning clearance sale. And I had been looking at Penlux for a little while and wanted to try them, but the price was a little off-putting, and so this was a great sale. So I went ahead and got this one, which is in the forest color. So let's go ahead and open this up. And I'm going to ink this for you today. I've picked an ink out that should be somewhat matchy-matchy with the pen. And I've never tried a Penlux before, and I was aware that it was kind of a large pen, and I know that I like larger pens, so that's why I got this. It's really pretty in the box. So let's see. So it comes in this little stacked box. What's under here? Looks like we just have some product info. Don't know what this is. Let's see. Oh, certificate of authenticity. So it's called the Rainforest color. Okay, well, that's nice. Nice to know I have an authentic Penlux. All right, I'm actually going to take this out of the bag before I close up this box. And this is a piston fill, and piston fill is kind of my favorite. It looks like, let's see. Yeah, it looks like a fairly standard filling system for a piston fill pen. So I'm just going to put that off to the side here. All right, it is quite hefty, but it does feel quite nice. Oh, it looks like it's been tested. It does have a little bit of ink in here. That's kind of interesting. I wonder, they must test it with blue ink because, okay, so I do have a little bit of water off to the side here. That's kind of interesting because there's like ink down in the cap too. So I'm going to clean that out a little bit. Yeah, you can kind of see it's like staining the inside. That's kind of interesting. Don't know how I feel about that. So let me go ahead, and I do have a little water, like I said, off to the side, so I'm going to, let me put this book down here, which is, it's gotten some other leathers up against it, so it's gotten some marks. Those will probably fade as the oil goes into it. I'm going to flush it out real quick. I'm going to do that off camera because my water is a little dirty. So it's kind of interesting that this would have been filled. I wonder if it was a return, because it does look like there's quite a bit of ink in it. Okay. Which is not a huge problem, but I don't want there to be, as you can see, there's like, it's still quite a bit of ink, and my water is not entirely clean. I wasn't expecting to have to flush this out, so yeah, it's kind of odd that there would be that much ink in there right off the bat. Okay, so I think we've gotten a little bit closer here to a clean pen. Okay, so the piston mechanism is actually all the way down now. One thing that is still kind of irritating me is that there is this ink down in this part of the cap, and it seems like it's gone over and under. I do wonder if this was like a test model or something. Because it was so much on sale, I don't really feel like I can say anything about it. I've mentioned this before, that when I get a deal, I tend to be a little more hesitant to mention flaws or whatever in a pen. But let's see how it writes. Let's see if it's a problem. And I suppose, let's just go with a new page here. I suppose there is a way to get that out, but again, that's a little irritating. Let's see. And like I said, it is quite a bright ink. This seems like more than testing. This seems like someone either returned this or they were using it as a tester sample or something like that. Okay, well that's gotten there's quite a bit of ink in there. Wow. Wow, that was quite a bit of ink. So I'm going to try and get even deeper in there. Okay. All right, so that actually has gotten most of the ink out of the cap. So okay, I'm feeling a little better about that then. But there clearly was a lot of ink in there. So sorry, that was totally unexpected there. So the ink that I've chosen today is this Birmingham Lichen Watermark, and it is a green ink, so I'm hoping that it'll go somewhat well with this pen. Hopefully there isn't enough of the ink residue that was already in here to cause any trouble. I'm actually gonna rinse that out real quick again. And okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So I put the piston mechanism all the way down. See, this is why I haven't been doing as many unboxings lately, is because stuff like this tends to come up where it's like, oh wait, that does look like it's a very pretty color match there. And supposedly this pen has a pretty decent capacity for ink. Let me see here. Okay. And I don't think this pen is really meant to be used posted because it is so thick. I started talking about that and then I got distracted by the ink that was in there. You can post it, but it definitely feels back heavy when posted. And let's see. Yeah, and one of the reasons why, I mean, at the price that I got it at, it seemed very reasonable, but it seemed like it was kind of an expensive pen for what it is. But it is an oversized pen. So I'm going to put this cap off to the side here. And let's go ahead and, here, let me zoom in just a little bit. Do that. So this is, oh, it actually writes quite nice. This is a Penlux in the Rainforest color. And this is a medium nib. It actually writes quite nice. Oh, that's interesting. It seems to have a little bit of a stubbish line, a little bit thinner that way than this way. I'm wondering if I can, yeah, it looks like I can even get a little bit of flex out of here. So that's kind of nice. And then this color, let me get that back out. This color actually goes really well with this pen. It is Birmingham Lichen Watermark. And then let's do the Quake Brown Fox. And it really doesn't seem to cause any trouble with that old ink that was in there. That's good. But yeah, I really do wonder if that's the pen company testing it, or if, yeah, that's so interesting that you can get that much variation. That's quite nice. Yeah, I might actually end up asking them that question, although to a certain point it's kind of irrelevant now. The piston fill mechanism in it too is kind of interesting because it looks like it only really fills up to here. So, and then here you have just all mechanism. But I really like the feel of this pen. Like, it's a really good size for my hand, unposted. Like I said, I do tend to like larger pens, so this is not something that is unusually large for me. The nib is quite large, which is nice. And the quality of line, and it's very smooth, very smooth. I'm kind of surprised by how smooth it is, actually. Okay, let me try writing in block letters. Yeah, that's really beautiful. And this ink is actually a very good match for this. Let me cap this. So just to sort of give you a little bit of a comparison, so here's a Lamy 2000, which is actually quite a bit smaller and obviously much thinner than this Penlux. And here is a TWSBI 580. So it's a fairly large pen. All right. Those were the only two pens I had handy. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. I do have a Blueberry Esterbrook SD here. So it's a little less tall than the SD actually, but it's still thicker. And this is not an oversized SD. This is just a regular in the Blueberry. Yes, and this was this was actually another pen that I got on the clearance sale at Atlas Stationers, because I already do have another Esterbrook, but I wanted an Esterbrook with a different nib, and that's why I have this one. Anyway, so way too much fountain pen purchasing, but this is probably the last one for a little while unless something special comes up. I have had my eye on a few pens, but nothing has really, as far as new pens that are coming around, none of them have really sparked my interest a lot. I do like getting things on sale, so now that a lot of the sales are kind of over for end of year, beginning of year, I'm probably going to be toning down my purchasing across the board, probably. And I do want to start focusing on more creating art on the channel. And I know that I've been talking about this for a long time. Please know that it's always been my intent to do that. It's just sometimes it takes a little bit of extra time and planning, and I do have to move my whole camera rig to another location in order to do that, because I don't really have the space on this desk that I'm at now. So things to come for the spring, probably. All right. Well, I think that's all I had for you today. If you have any questions about this pen, I know I didn't go into too many details because I really got distracted right off the bat with all that ink that was in this pen at the very beginning. I think that's kind of a non-issue now that I'm looking at this. I mean, I was able to clean the ink out of the cap, and I was able to clean it out of the barrel, and this new ink seems to be working just fine in there. The pen runs really, really smoothly. This color is really pretty. I think it's a rose gold color here, but the nib itself is not rose gold. It is just regular gold color. And that I knew before I got it, because some people had actually commented on how it was odd that they had a gold nib on a rose gold trim pen. But it is quite nice. And I think this is a size 6 nib. This SD has a size 6. Yes. So, and that looks about the same. Well, I don't know. That nib looks just a little taller. I'm wondering if it's a little bit bigger than a size 6. Because it does look a little bit taller. Okay. Well, there you go. But I'm actually really, really impressed with the nib. It's very smooth and lovely, and it does have a little bit of line variation that you can get out of the nib because it's a little bit flexy. And side to side is a little bit thinner than up and down, so it does lend a little bit of variation to your writing. And this ink is lovely in it, but I have really had no problems at all with Birmingham inks. They're generally really beautiful and smooth. And this is beautiful and smooth nib. I'm actually very, very impressed. I would never have gotten it were it not on clearance, but now that I've tried it, I probably would recommend it, even at the full price. There probably are some other pens that are a better value in that price range, because normally this runs, I think, about $175, and I was able to get it under $150. So that seemed like a better deal to me. Under $150 with free shipping and all of that seemed like less of a risk than almost, getting towards $200 for this pen. But it is beautiful, and it's, you know, it's a little bit clunky, I think, and I would say that this little trim here seems, I don't know if I like the styling necessarily, but it's a great writing pen. Seriously, I didn't really have any expectations at all, but it writes beautifully, and I can't really complain about that. And I love the green color, and this ink with it just seems perfect. Here, let me show this writing to you closer up so you can see. You can see that line variation here with giving the nib a little bit of flex, and the variation between side to side versus up and down. So it's a little stubbish, which is nice. I like that. Okay, and again, this is a medium nib, so that's what you're getting with that. All right, well, that's all I had for you today, really, this time. I hope to see you next time. Please subscribe if you want to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Like I said, I do hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.